Happy Monday morning to everybody. A little bit later start than I want, but it's a Monday, so things are running a little slow around here. We have the Boston Red Sox and the Baltimore Orioles as we start the July 1st date on the schedule. I will be doing a recap of the season through the month of June. I'll be doing a video on that tomorrow. I'll put it out tomorrow, I should say. It'll be on the computer. I'll put it out tomorrow. Assuming that I can get it to work. I want to show the league leaders, standings, league leaders, just any kind of facts that you might be interested, statistical facts you might be interested in the replay, see how people are doing. We'll go through at least the contending teams and see how they're doing. May not care how these two teams are doing because they're out of contention. We are at Fenway Park. It's game number 527 in the replay. Fenway Park, positive for singles, 19 left, 15 right. Home runs, 7 left, 10 right. Boston won this game real world 6-2. And we have a pitching matchup, Mike Griffin of the Orioles against Roger Clemens of the Red Sox. Good morning, Dan, and good morning, Brown. And Dan, I know I've got a couple days. I think I've got like 2 days left on this Strat-O-Matic order that I've been flip-flopping back and forth on to try to get the 10% off with the free shipping. And I'm trying to figure out if I really, really want to buy another set. I've got a couple seasons in mind, but I'm like, do I really want them? Or if it wasn't for the 10% and the free shipping, would I even consider it? So I've got 1980 and 1952 were, kind of in my wheelhouse, not wheelhouse, but they're in my sights as far as ordering goes, but I still haven't pulled the trigger on it. Got my code, but I haven't put it in yet for official, I'm still trying to figure out if I really want to pull the trigger or not. So, because if I get it, I won't be able to do anything with it. I've got so much other stuff going on. I basically have to have it sitting until I get around to doing it. So it'd be just a matter of having it is basically what it would boil down to. Good morning, Jim and Dr. D. Good to see you. And Dr. D, as far as my hand goes, I'm not having I'm still having a little bit of trouble with this finger. I'm still having to determine if it's trigger finger or just arthritis or whatever it is. But and it doesn't really hurt me unless I'm something like if I'm picking up this coffee mug and that finger gets curled around and like back this way, that's when I can feel it. But if I'm just sitting around, just doing normal things, I don't feel it. Now, one thing in my hand I do feel when I, oh, good, Dan, you got your tower. Cool. One thing I do feel and not when I'm just sitting around, but again, when I'm exerting any kind of pressure or whatever, is this little pad in my hand gets it's almost like a burning sensation. But right with just these two fingers, not this part of my pad in my hand, but just this part right here. Like when I cut the grass, there's a bar that I have to hold on to like this to keep the engine, because I have a push mower, to keep the engine engaged. So it does two things. It bends this finger and it also puts pressure on this pad. So after I cut grass, my hand is kind of, hurting pretty good. If I put the Bengay type stuff on it, the pain goes away pretty quickly, but it's just the, just the stuff there. I didn't think about those things, Dan. Maybe that's something to look into. I don't know. But I mean, like I said, if I'm just doing this like today, like sitting here right now, I've got no pain. I mean, I'm not doing anything. But if I'm doing something where I have to put pressure on this or bend this finger, that's when I feel it. So put a little of the Walmart version of Bengay on it, and 2 seconds later, I feel just fine. It's just, I don't even notice it until I actually have to do something with it. So anyway, that's a sidebar. Good morning, Mr. Gudeman. Hope you are doing well as well this morning. So, Dan, I'm on the fence about whether I'm going to get that extra set or not. I'm looking at 52, although 52 is not a season I'm necessarily engaged in, but it is one of the newer selections that Strat put out. So I'm thinking maybe the card quality might be a little better than some of the older stuff. Like 1980 would be nice to get, but I'm not sure how the card quality is on 1980. I have no idea. But anyway, we will now go to the Boston Red Sox and the Baltimore Orioles. Let's look at Roger Clemens. and get his numbers on the real 1987 season. I still have no idea who the genius was that decided to do the 1987 cards in the basic side with this blue, which you can barely see. Yeah, same. Well, I don't have them in cellophane, Dan, but I've got a whole bunch of them in tubs that just have been sitting there for years, not being used. So while it's nice to get something new in the mail, I kind of had that experience with the extra players, so that kind of took that itch away to get something from Strat. Although it was not in the box like you usually get for Strat, it was in the little, manila folder type thing, bubble wrap thing. But I don't know. I've still got 2 days to figure it out. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. But anyway, Roger Clemens 20-9 with a 297 earned run average. Let me get a little closer picture of it for you. These blue cards just don't show up very well on video. But 29, 297 ERA. And we'll flip over to the Strat-O-Matic computer to get his stats up to the minute. He is 7-5 with an ERA of 4.07 so far in the replay. 128 innings pitched, 129 hits, 38 walks, and 104 strikeouts. And there you see the lineups for both teams. Clemens is a +1 hold. Gedman is a -1 for a net 0. His wild pitch is a 3, and his balk is a 4. So before we have the first pitch, of course, we have the ceremonial first sip, which has become tradition. And that is some good coffee, Jeff. And I do love tradition. That's a good thing to know, Dr. D. I'll have to, I'm thinking if nothing else, what I may do is at least get a little towel to give me some padding on there. I cut the grass last Tuesday, so probably don't have to cut it again until next week. I mean, it's going to be 90s. Today is nice. It's like 82, but later in the week, it's going to be in the upper 90s. And I don't want to cut the grass and have it turn brown and burn up. So, all right. Anyway, enough of that. But I am going to use the dice that came with the Barnes & Noble Strat-O-Matic games. So that's what we're using. This is the double die we're using. So Mike Young will lead things off for the Orioles. He's hitting 207 on the replay, 8 homers, 23 driven in. He at 240 real world. And since Uncle Ron is not streaming at noon today, I will be streaming at noon with the 4th game in the Colorado Rockies Horror Baseball Show. They'll be in Philadelphia playing the Phillies. So I'll be doing that at roughly noon today, which is not going to be too much long, maybe about an hour and a half after I finish this. So it'll be sometime between 12 and 12:15 that I'll do that, because I'm going to be away tonight, so I won't be home tonight to do it until real late, and I'd rather not do it that late. All right, here we go. 3-9 for Mike Young, and that's a base hit. Single for Mike Young. Leadoff single. He's got a chance to get a lead of a 6 through 8. Make sure there's nothing going on there. There's not. 6 through 8 gets him the lead. 11 gets him caught. That's an 8. He gets the lead. He's going to go 15 being held as a 13, and then the 0. So it's a 1 to 13 for Mike Young. And let's see what Young has done on the replay to this point as far as stolen bases goes. Replay in real world. Again, these cards don't have that information like the cards nowadays do. So on the real season, he stole 10 bases, got caught 7 times. So that's 17 stolen base attempts. He's only had 2 stolen base attempts so far this season in the replay. He's 2-0. He's 2 for 2. But this one here, it is a 1 to 13. And he's got caught stealing. That's his first caught stealing of the season, as Rich Gedman throws him out. And that's 1 away. But I thought 1 to 13. What is that? 65%. Pretty good chance, but just didn't work out. That high D20. Here is Lee Lacy. He is hitting 255, 4 homers, 15 driven in. He's hit 244 on the replay. I mean, on the real world, he hit 244. We had a 3-8, and that's going to be a strikeout. One thing else I got to get used to is I'm so used to rolling with the dice with the numbers on them. Now I got the dots, so I got to do math again. So that's going to be, that takes a little bit of adjustment as well. But those dice with the numbers on them are so large, it's kind of hard to, I'd rather have the smaller dice go down through. I think they get mixed up better than the larger dice that might get, have a hard time, moving around. So. All right, 2 away now after the caught stealing and the strikeout for Cal Ripken. Ripken hitting 256 on the replay, 10 homers, 38 driven in. He hit 252 real world. That's a 3-8. 3-8's a walk. First walk issued by Clemens. And that'll bring up Eddie Murray. Eddie Murray stepping to the plate. Nothing on the havoc. Murray is hitting 312 on the replay. 19 homers, 47 driven in. He hit 277 real world. It's a 2-9 for Murray, and that's a ground ball to first, and Buckner will take it to the bag himself. And that'll take care of the O's here in the top of the first. Go to the bottom of the first, it's Baltimore nothing, and Boston coming to bat against journeyman pitcher Mike Griffin. So let's get the numbers on Griffin. On the real season for Mike Griffin, 3-5 with a 4.36 ERA through 74 innings in the real season. He's 1-0 on the replay. So that's at least a positive for him. Let's check out his other numbers. He is 1-0 with an ERA of 4.05, and in real world is 4.36, so that's not too far off. 7 innings pitched. He's only had 1 start, went 7 innings, gave up 6 hits, 2 walks, and a strikeout. So Griffin will be facing Marty Barrett, the leadoff hitter. For some reason, Ellis Burks has not been playing lately. They've had Benziger in center, and if they have the lead late, they'll bring in Burks for defense and move, put him in center and get a better defender out there, because Benziger is a 4 in center field. When you have a 4 in center field in Strat, you're bucking for danger. That's double city waiting to happen. All right, here's Barrett. Barrett hitting 315 on the replay. No homers, 22 driven in. He at 293 real world. 6-12, and that is a strikeout for Mike Griffin. First strikeout of the game. First batter of the game. So Griffin off to a good start. And that'll bring up Todd Benziger. Benziger, center fielder. And he is on the replay hitting 324 and just 37 at bats. A homer and 4 driven in. He at 278 real world. That's a 3-6, and that's going to be another strikeout. So Griffin starting out hot with 2 strikeouts. And he'll be facing Wade Boggs. So, Dan, if I get anything on that order and take advantage of that special, I believe it's going to be, it would be 52 if I got anything at all, but I'm still on the fence about it. So I got 2 more days to decide, I guess. All right, here's Wade Boggs. I don't know if anybody's ever done that before. I go on the Strat website and I'll start putting stuff in the cart, and then I'll delete stuff out of the cart, put something else in the cart, and it's kind of like a flip-flop, and just can't decide, but just can't push that order button. So I guess that's version of Strat window shopping. Looking but not spending. And that's the story of my life. Looking but not spending. All right, 359 average for Boggs on the replay. 14 homers, 40 driven in. He hit 363 real world. 3-3, and that is a fly to center to end the inning. But hey, the frugal lifestyle has allowed me to retire maybe a little earlier than some people, so that worked out in my favor, I guess. So that's going to end the inning. We go to the top of the second, no score from Fenway Park. And former Red Sox Fred Lynn will lead things off. Yeah, I'm 52 because I did see YouTube has the 1952 World Series Game 7 original broadcast on YouTube with Red Barber, and really enjoyed seeing that. I do have the 55 set, but that's the only set I have in the 50s from Strat. I don't have any other 50 Strat. 85 to me would be nice, but I've already got like every 80 season they have except for 80, 81, and 85. Everything else I have for Strat. So it just wouldn't make sense. It would just be piling on another season right in the middle of that era. I'd rather go, pick a different era, so to speak. All right, Fred Lynn hitting 209 on the replay, 18 homers, 39 driven in. He hit 253 real world, which is why I'm doing the Rockies replay, because nobody else on YouTube is doing 2025. So figured do something different. When you can't just keep bringing the 70s and 80s out all the time, you need to mix it up a little bit. All right, here's Lynn. That's a 4-3, and that is a ground ball first base X. So we're looking at Buckner, 4E13. 4-7, that's going to be close. I think he'll get to it, but you never know. 4 and a 7 is a G3 pound, but nobody's on base to be held, so he will in fact get to it. His error range of 13, so at first base, he's got to avoid 11, 13, and 17. And he barely does, so he gets it and flips to Clemens covering. 3-1 on the putout. And there's one away. Yeah, no, he's playing it, but he's not broadcasting. I'm talking about YouTube. He's playing offline. He's playing basic, and he's playing offline, and he's in a rush to play the whole season or something. So he seems to like that, but that's fine. I do basic Sunday basic, but I'm starting to get tired of that already because I really don't like basic. I like super advanced. But I said I was going to do basic Sunday basic, or Sunday basic Sunday, so I'll stick with it until the season's over. But this is my wheelhouse right here. Here's Ray Knight. Knight hitting 231, 9 homers, 29 driven in. He at 256 real world. Hello, Mr. RJL. That's a 5-7, and that's a ground ball second base X. That's Marty Barrett. Barrett is a 2E11. 2 and a 12, he'll get to that. E11 at second base. He's got to avoid 15, 17, and 18. Those are 3 numbers to avoid. And that's an 18. He did not avoid it. The triple sixes gets him. That's trouble. E11, 18 is a 2-base error on Marty, Grin, and Barrett. So he'll have to Grin and Barrett after that 2-base error. And Ray Knight is aboard. So there is one away. I also noticed, hello, Jeremiah. I've also noticed here lately there's been I don't know what the word is for it, but I've seen at least 3 different accounts of people walking and doing videos while they're walking. I think Gardner started that, and we've got people piggybacking off of that, so to speak. Don't think I'd ever want to do that myself. Not my thing. But I did think about going out in the backyard and crawling and doing a video while I'm crawling, just to be snarky about it. But whatever. To each their own. Like I said, play the game you want to play the way you want to play it, and do your videos the way you want to do your videos. All right. So we get a pass ball chance on Gedman, which is a 1-12. And that is a pass ball on Gedman. That'll put the runner at third. So pass ball on Gedman, and now the Red Sox are going to bring the infield in. They don't want to give up a cheap run. Roger Clemens says, come on in, boys. I don't want to give up a cheap run. So Knight at third, 1 out. None of this is Clemens doing. The 2-base error and the pass ball will put a runner at third. Clemens has got to try to clean up the mess. Yes, Tebow has done it, and so has JC. So, all right, here is Terry Kennedy. Kennedy hitting 232, 14 homers, 33 driven in. He hit 250 real world. Infield is in. 2-6. And I just paid the price with that plus. So that's going to be a base hit. And that will score the run. So that's the price they pay for playing the infield in. You take a chance, and doggone if you don't hit that roll that cost you. 1-0 Orioles, but against Mike Griffin, the Red Sox have to figure they're going to score some runs. So Kennedy, no threat to steal. Yeah, I know Espo had some stuff from his car. So did Strat Delaware, Chris. Or Lower Slower Board, whatever. He's changed his name 3 or 4 times. I think it's Lower Slower Board Gamer or something. 5-9, and that's a strikeout for Clemens. That's actually only the second strikeout for Clemens. I don't know. It seems like, to me, at least for YouTube, it seems like the Strat-O-Matic / baseball / hobby community is more interested in chatting than they are playing games on YouTube. So I feel like I'm one of the few that actually play games on YouTube. Everybody else is talking about it. I do it. Everybody else talks about it. I don't want to talk about it. I want to do it. All right, here's Rick Burleson. Burleson hitting 219 on the replay. No homers, 9 driven in. He at 209 real world. Clutch. It's not a clutch situation. It's at first base. 6'10", and that's going to be a fly ball center field X. That's Benziger, and he's a 4. That's where we're in trouble. But a 12 might work. 4 and a 12 might work, and it does. It's an F1. That's good enough. And let's check his error rating. He is an E6, so in center field, he's got to avoid 3, 4, 15, and 18, which he does, and that will end the inning. Unearned run comes in for the Orioles. And, of course, RJO, once his season gets going, he'll be back playing games every day. So Uncle Ron, when he can, plays games. Replay Gamer will play a game once in a while. Even Gardner will play a game once in a while, but most of the time it's, chatting or something along those lines. And I just prefer the game. Some people like the chatting. That's fine. It's just not my thing. If it's your thing, go for it. All right, here is Mike Greenwell. Greenwell is hitting 293 on the replay. 11 homers, 26 driven in. He hit 328 real world. 5-8, and that is a strikeout. How about that? Mike Griffin's got 3 strikeouts already. Here's Don Baylor. And I don't want to come across that I'm downgrading those guys that do the chatting. It's just not my thing, that's all. It doesn't resonate with me the way it does with other folks. Here's Don Baylor. He's hitting 236 on the replay. 8 homers, 39 driven in. He hit 245 real world. 2-6, and that is a hit by pitch. What else is new? Don Baylor gets hit by a pitch. That's not news. He gets plunked. He's got a hit by pitch on 2-6 and 2-8. So that'll bring up Dewey Evans. Evans on the replay hitting 346, 17 homers, 54 driven in. He at 305 real world. That's a 3-2 for Evans, and that's a ballpark single check. And this is the difference between the advanced game and the super advanced game. In advanced, this is a double play. This is a ground ball to third base, a double play. Super advanced, we have the ballpark effects. So the single 1 to 15 is going to turn a double play into a single. And that's exactly what we have. So instead of the inning-ending double play, we have a single, first and second, with only 1 out. So there's the difference right there between playing advanced and super advanced. Not that there's anything wrong with advanced. It's just that I prefer super advanced. All right, here's Bill Buckner, first baseman. Buckner hitting 271, 3 homers, 23 driven in. He hit 286 real world. Griffin in a little bit of trouble, 6'9", and now he walks Buckner to really cause himself some problems. Bases are loaded now. A hit by pitch, a single, and a walk have loaded the bases for Spike Owen. Infield at double play depth. A double play would get them out of the inning if they could get there. Here's Griffin. 5-8, switch hitter batting left is a strikeout yet again. Number 4 for Griffin. How many strikeouts did he have? He had only had 42 strikeouts in 74 innings, but he's found the strikeout rolls today. Now the bases are loaded with 2 outs in a clutch situation for Rich Gedman. And in the clutch, Gedman is actually rated as completely neutral. That's a 2-5, and that's a fly to right. So Griffin pitches around the mess, keeps the Red Sox off the board. And we go to the third. It is still 1-0 Baltimore. Griffin besting Clemens to this point. So now that'll bring up Mike Young, top of the order. Singled and got caught stealing his first time up. That's a 1-3, and that's a walk for Clemens, his second walk. Mike Young will stay put this time. He will not attempt to steal. Red Sox will hold him on, but he will not try to get a good lead. He will just hang there. Here's Lacey. 4-6, and that's a double 1-10, single 11-20. That is a 10. It's two-star double, so second and third, nobody out. And here come the Orioles with Ripken and Murray coming up. Clemens in a little bit of trouble. With nobody out, they're going to play the infield back. They need outs. Clemens could use a strikeout right about now. This is the time he needs a strikeout. 1-8, doesn't get it. Ripken 1-4 double, 5-20 singles. 2 runs are going to score either way. That is a single, but it's a two-star single, a 2-run single from Cal Ripken. And the Orioles lead Clemens and the Red Sox 3-0. So Red Sox haters, if you're out there, you can rejoice. 3-0 Orioles to this point. Still nobody out for Eddie Murray. Clemens looking frustrated on the mound. 5-10, and that's going to be a catcher X. That's not too good either because Gedman's a 3-E-15. 3-14. We'll see what that does. 3-14 is going to be a straight up pop out. So no threat of a pass ball or wild pitch. It's just a straight pop out, assuming there's no error, but he's an E15. And that's a 12. E15 and a 12. There's an 11 and a 15, but no 12. So he escapes the error, makes the pop out play, and Murray is out of there, 1 away. That'll send up Freddie Lynn. Lynn grounded to Buckner his first time up. 1 out, runner at first. Double play gets Clemens out of the inning. It's a 4-7, and that's a walk. Third walk issue by Clemens. He has not been sharp at all. First and second, 1 out. And here's Ray Knight. Ray Knight. And congratulations to I'm not a hockey fan, but congratulations to the Carolina Hurricanes. 5-6, and that is a strikeout. Clemens gets the K, 2 down for Terry Kennedy. Clutch situation for Kennedy. First and second, 2 outs. Kennedy in the clutch. Loses a hit on 2-7 and on 3-6. That's a 2-6. He just avoided it, but it is a ground ball to short anyway to end the inning. But the 2-run single from Ripken gives the Orioles a 3-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the third. RJL, when does your season start? Is that at the 1st of July, or are you picking a different date? I don't remember the exact date you said about it. I think it's July, right around the 1st of July, but I'm not sure. All right, here is Marty Barrett. As the Red Sox have their work cut out for them against Mr. Griffin. Barrett, his first time up, a strikeout victim. That is a 2-9, and that's going to be a pop out to second base. So who would have thought Mike Griffin would be out pitching Roger Clemens, but so far he has. Here's Todd Benzinger. That's a 6-11 switch hitter batting left. That's a ground ball shortstop X, Cal Ripken, 2E20. 2-15, he'll get to that. We'll check the E20 for a shortstop. E20 at short. He's got to avoid 4, 15, 16, and 17. 4, 15, 16, and 17. And he does just that. Nice play for Ripken. 2 down. Takes us to Wade Boggs. Boggs flew to center his first time up. That's a 5-8, and he will strike out. Wow. 5 strikeouts for Griffin. That's going to end the inning. We go to the fourth, still 3-0. Three to nothing. As we go to the top of the fourth. I could be wrong, but I also think I'm the only one playing Strat-O-Matic Super Advanced on YouTube currently right now. I think. Could be wrong, but I think I am. Might be somebody doing I'm not aware of. I'm not sure. I'm talking about videos, not playing offline and talking about it. I'm talking about actually putting videos on the channel. Putting boots to the ground, as they say. All right. Top of the fourth, Larry Sheets. 4-8. That's a strikeout for Clemens, his fourth. I mean, the only reason I'm mentioning that because a couple of years ago there was a bunch of people putting games on, and now it seems to be they're more on the offline stuff or discussion stuff, which is fine. It's just not my cup of tea. Here's Burleson. Of course, I'm not everybody's cup of tea either, and I realize that. 1-7, that's a ground ball to third. 2 down, and we go back to the top of the order for Mike Young. That's a 6-6 switch hitter. Struck him out. Big strikeout there for Clemens. A nice rebound inning for him. But again, he is suffering from lack of run support. That's plagued him all year long. And today, lack of defensive support as well. So we go to the bottom of the fourth. Greenwell, Baylor, and Evans will lead things off for the Red Sox, trailing 3-0. They got to get their offense in gear. They only have one hit to this point against the erstwhile Mike Griffin. 4-6, and that's going to be a fly to center, so that is not a good start for them. One away. And that'll send up Don Baylor. For whatever reason, Jim Rice not in the starting lineup. He is on the bench. He can pinch hit. Here's Baylor, 2-10, and that is a fly to center. So 2 fly ball outs. 2 up, 2 down. We go now to Dwight Evans. Evans, the first time up, got the only hit of the game for the Red Sox. That's a 2-7, and that's a walk. Second walk issued by Griffin. Evans, no threat to steal. Here's Bill Buckner. Billy Buck walked his first time up. 3-7 for Buckner. He grounds it to Murray, and he'll take it to the bag himself, and that will take care of business. In the fourth, we go to the fifth. Still 3-0 O's here at Fenway Park. For some reason, the Red Sox offense is dormant right now. That'll bring up Lacey, Ripken, and Murray here in the top of the fifth. Lacey doubled and scored his last time up. Oh, he does. Tri-Fan does once in a while. Very rare. So it's like every couple of weeks he'll put a game out. I wasn't sure if he was doing super advanced or advanced. I thought he was doing advanced. Maybe he is doing super advanced. 6-8 struck him out. Oh, it's Clemente replay, super advanced. Okay. Here's Cal Ripken. 6-5, and that is another strikeout. So Clemens coming back, 3 strikeouts in a row. And that'll bring up Eddie Murray. Oh, that one didn't go through the hole there, so let's redo this. 5-3, and that's going to be a fly ball right field. X Evans is a 1. We know he's going to get there. E2 for a right fielder. The only errors are 3, 16, and 18. And he, of course, makes the play, and that will do it for the Orioles. We go to the bottom of the fifth, still 3-0 O's. Red Sox offense still, in limbo, not able to do anything. For Griffin, he's got a fatigue of 6, so he's still good to go as far as fatigue goes. Bottom of the order, Owen, Gedman, and Barrett due up for the Red Sox. Trying to get something started here. 5-7. Switch hitter batting left. That's a base on balls, so you got to start somewhere. Third walk issued by Griffin. Got to have base runners when you're down by 3. Owen could try to get the lead, but he's not going to try. Griffin's a -3 hold, so and you're down 3-0, so you're not going to run yourself out of an inning. And that's going to bring up Gedman. And that's a 2-10. And that's a double 1-6. Single 7-20. That's a double, 2 stars. So the Red Sox trying to fight their way back in. Second and third. Nobody out for Marty Barrett. Infield back for the Orioles, of course. They got a 3-run lead. They need outs. Here's Barrett. 4-10. That's a fly ball center field X. Fred Lynn's a 3-E3. Could at least be a sacrifice fly, if nothing else. 3-7. There might be a hit, but I doubt it. 3-7. It's an F1, so that means both runners are going to advance on the F1. And now the E3, the only error is 3-16 and 18. And he makes the play, but not only will Owen score on the sacrifice fly, but Rich Gedman takes third. And the Red Sox are finally on the board, cutting the lead to 3-1 with 1 out and a runner at third base. Orioles are going to play in to try to choke off a cheap run here. Oops, let me fix this in the computer. I messed that up. Put it in as a fly to center instead of a sacrifice fly. All right, now we're straight. So Benzinger is up with Gedman at third and 1 out. Infield has come in. Oh, never heard of him, Dan. I'll have to search that name. Thank you for letting me know. I want to know anybody that's out there doing it. I'd like to support them and check them out if I know about them. And if they're small, they're probably not getting a whole lot of where it's coming on people's feeds. So, yeah, if you found him, excellent. I'm going to check him out when this is over. Here's Benzinger. Infield is in. 3-5, and that's a ground ball shortstop A, so that's going to freeze the runners. Or runner, in this case, Gedman. With the infield in, he has to hold. 2 down back, and we're looking at Wade Boggs in a clutch situation. Oddly enough, Boggs not good in the clutch. 1-8 and 1-11. He loses hits. 3-1 Orioles. 1-5, and that's a home run. 1-17. This could be a tie ball game. 1-17 for Boggs will tie it up. And it is gone. Wade Boggs, a 2-run home run. And we are tied at 3. And Roger Clemens says, finally, somebody scored some runs for me. For Wade Boggs, that is home run number 15 on the replay. He had 24 real world. RBIs 41 and 42. But again, a 1-5 home run, 1-17. Devil dies of 5. We're tied at 3. Brand new game here at Fenway after that home run. Here is Greenwell. 5-4, and that's a ground ball back to Griffin, and that will end the inning. But how about that? 3-3 now is our score. We start the 6th, all tied up. D. Denman, thank you. Thank you for that. I will definitely check him out. I'm going to write that down because once the stream is over, the chat goes away. So I'm going to write that down. D-D-E-N-M-A-N 76. I guess he was born in 1976. I don't know. But I'm going to check him out. Thank you very much for that heads up. I will definitely give him a look-see. All right, so Greenwell grounds out to Griffin to end the inning. We start the 6th, all tied up at 3, and here's Fred Lynn. 5-6, and that is a strikeout for Clemens, his 8th. So he's kind of turned it on a bit after a sluggish start. He has gotten himself right. And here's Ray Knight. 5-7, and that is a ground ball to Barrett at second. He is a 2-11. 2 and a 4. That's close. I think he might get to it, though. 2 and a 4. Yep, G3. No problem. E11. He's got to avoid 15, 17, and 18. That's a 3. I don't think there's an error on the 3. I'll double check it, though. Nope, no error on the 3. Sometimes there is an error on 3, but not this case. So, Ray Knight is out of there. 2 away. Nice play by Barrett. 2 up, 2 down, and that brings up Terry Kennedy, the catcher. Hello, Joshua. Good to see you. Kennedy, 2-9, and that is a ground ball to Mr. Buckner. He makes the play himself, and at the end of 5.5, we're tied at 3 apiece. As we start the bottom of the 6th. Griffin, this will be his fatigue inning, so we'll keep an eye on that. He's got that 6 as a fatigue number. He'll be facing Baylor, Evans, and Buckner. Red Sox do have Rice on the bench available to pinch hit if and when needed. So they got one big bat on the bench at least. Here is Baylor. 3-10 for Baylor, and he will fly to left field for Larry Sheets to put away, 1 away. And that'll bring up Dewey Evans. Singled and walked. 4-8 on Griffin is a strikeout. Boys, Griffin's exceeding my expectations at least. 6 strikeouts already. 2 up, 2 down now for Billy Buckner. 2-6 for Buckner. 1-6 will be a single. Anything else he lines it to second base, and Burleson will snag it. And that's exactly what happens. Burleson snags it. 3 up, 3 down, ends the inning. Griffin takes full endurance into the 7th inning. And now Clemens is up. Clemens is up, and he'll be facing Sheets, Burleson, and Young, although we are in the 7th inning. So now I do allow pinch hitting without a pitching change. So Burleson could very well be pinch hit for. We'll see if Sheets gets on base or not. If he gets on, Burleson might bunt. 4-5, and he is going to get on, but he's not going to bunt if he gets a double. So 1-19 is going to be a double. And that is a double for Larry Sheets. Leadoff double. Puts the Orioles in business, and now they will pinch hit for Burleson. Look at the pinch hitters available for the Orioles off their bench. Pinch hitter extraordinaire Jim Dwyer most likely will be the one coming to pinch hit. Then they could play Rene Gonzalez at second base. They also have Wiggins and Gerhardt on the bench and backup catcher Dave Van Gorder. But I think the definitive choice here is Jim Dwyer. Gonzalez will take over as the second baseman. But Jim Dwyer, Jim Washer and Dwyer, as he's called, will pinch hit here in the 7th. And then Gonzalez will take over at second base in the bottom half. All right, so Jim Dwyer, let's bring him on the computer, see how he's doing on the replay as well as real world. Real world, he hit 274 with 15 home runs in just 241 at bats, so he's got some definite pop. No question about it. Rick Burleson will take an exit and get the rest of the game off. Jim Dwyer coming on. We'll get Dwyer's numbers on the replay. On the replay, Dwyer is hitting 267, 6 homers, 17 driven in. Clemens has to bear down here against Dwyer. That's a 2-5 for Dwyer, and that's a strikeout. Clemens strikeout number 9. Dwyer is out of there. Back to the top of the order from Mike Young. Young 1 for 2. Nothing on the havoc. 5-3, switch hitter batting left. That's a fly ball right field X, but we know Evans is going to get there. But with a runner on second, they might tag up, so we do need the D20 roll. That's a 17. 1 and a 17 is going to be an F3. It means runners have to hold. And now, as an error, he is an E2, where the only error is 3, 16, and 18. And Evans will make the play, and Sheets has to hold right where he is. 2 down. So Clemens trying to pitch around that leadoff double. Got to deal with Lee Lacy. Lacy is 1 for 3 in the ball game. Clutch situation for Lacy. In the clutch, he will gain a couple hits, 1-5 and 110. That is a 6-10, and that is a fly ball center field X. This is where we got trouble. Benzinger is a 4, and that's a 14. He might get a break. 4 and a 14 is an F2, so he does get to it. Now we're checking for an error, E6. He's got to avoid 3, 4, 15, and 18, which he does. So Benzinger makes the play. Clemens pitches around the mess. And we go to the 7th inning stretch here at Fenway, all tied at 3 apiece. Oriole bullpen is stirring because Mike Griffin is kind of going past his normal fatigue route. He's starting his 7th inning. And can't go anywhere until the computer makes me put in Rene Gonzalez at second base, or put somebody in. I could put Wiggins, but I think Gonzalez is the better choice at second base. In fact, I wonder if we're going to... No, we're not going to do a double switch. All right, so Gonzalez is in at second base. Look at the Oriole bullpen. See who they have available. They have one lefty in the bullpen, and that is Scott McGregor. They got righties John Habian, Tom Niedenfuhr, Tony Arnold, and Doug Corbett. Those are the available arms in the bullpen. Coming up for the Red Sox, we got a switch, a left, and a right, and another switch and a left and a left. So looks like Scott McGregor loosening the bullpen. They may need his left-handed services before the inning is out. Here's Spike Owens, switch hitter. 110, and that's a fly to right field. 1 away, and here's Gedman. That's a 5-6, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. Ripken's a 2 with an E20. 2 and a 6. I think he'll get to that. Double check it, but I'm pretty sure he will. Yes, he will. E20 at short. 4, 15, 16, and 17. And that's no problem for Ripken. 2 up and 2 down. Top of the order we go. To Marty Barrett. Barrett is 0 for 2. He did have a sacrifice fly his last time up. 112, and that's going to be a single for Marty Barrett. 2-out single. Now, he's going to try to get a lead, because if he can get a lead, he has a pretty good chance of stealing the base. But he has to have a 4 to do it. And he gets the 4. How do you like that? We get the 4 right on cue. So Marty Barrett's a 19, being held as a 17. -3 is a 14. 1 to 14, he'll steal it. And he does. So Marty Barrett steals the base, gets himself into scoring position as the go-ahead run for Todd Benzinger. Yes, we take chances on this channel. Not playing conservative. These two teams are so far out of the thing, they can almost do what they want. So like in football, going forward on 4th down, when you're that far behind in the standings, it really doesn't matter. All right, here is Griffin now facing Benzinger in the clutch. Benzinger in the clutch will gain a hit on a 112. That's a 4-4. It's a ground ball third base X. That is Ray Knight. He's a 4. 4 and 19, he'll get to that. E8 at third base. He's got to avoid 3 and then 15 through 18. So he needs 14 or less, basically. And he gets just that. So Ray Knight will make the play. We'll cap Griffin at 7 innings. I don't want to push it too far. So Griffin's going to go 7 innings. More than what the Cal Ripken Sr. could have asked for, I think. And we will go to the bullpen in the bottom of the inning. We'll go to the computer, get the box score, and get the numbers on Griffin to finish up his day. He can win it if the Orioles take the lead in the 8th, but he can't lose it, obviously. 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 3 runs. They were earned. Walked 3, struck out 6. So we go to the top of the 8th, and this will be the fatigue inning for Roger Clemens. And he'll be facing the heart of the order, Ripken, Murray, and Lynn. But it is a fatigue inning. With Boggs and Greenwell coming up 1-2 in the order, Scott McGregor will be ready to come in the bottom of the 8th. So we'll be bringing in McGregor to pitch the bottom of the 8th. Right now, top of the 8th, Cal Ripken. 6-12 on Clemens. That's a split chance. 1-4 is a single. 5-20, he lines out to Spike Owen. And that's a line out to Owen. 1 away for Eddie Murray. Murray, switch hitter, is 0 for 3 in this game. 6-9, and he's going to be 0 for 4 as he flies out to Benzinger. 2 down. And that'll bring up Freddie Lynn. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. Clemens 2-6, and that is a ground ball to Buckner. That ends the inning. Clemens will have full endurance into the 9th. So Clemens will go 9. So we go to the bottom of the 8th. We are still tied at 3 apiece. And coming into the game for the Orioles will be left-handed veteran reliever or starter/reliever Scott McGregor. Started the season as a starter. He's currently in the bullpen as he has had a bad year. So they're trying to see if the bullpen can straighten him out. McGregor, get his numbers here. Pull up McGregor. Scott McGregor, 1987, was 2-7 with a 6.64 ERA. So obviously not a good season for Scott McGregor. In the replay, he's also 2-7 with an ERA of 5.52. He's thrown 73 innings in pitching, given up 86 hits, 30 walks, 47 strikeouts. His main job is to get Boggs and Greenwell. They might pull him when they get to the right-hander. We'll have to wait and see. Orioles do have bullpen activity behind McGregor because they don't trust him. So McGregor is going to be backed up in the bullpen by Doug Corbett. Doug Corbett is loosening right behind him. But they're going to give McGregor every chance in the world. He's got 2 lefties to face. That's his job, get these 2 left-handed hitters out. Boggs is one of them, though. That's a tough job to have. Boggs homered his last time up. 2-5, left-handed, is a ground ball to first. And that'll be an easy play for Murray. 1 away. If he gets both batters, they might leave him in there, at least give him a chance to get Baylor out. But if he puts Greenwell on base, I'm sure he's probably gone. Here's Greenwell. He's 0 for 3. It's a 1-8, and that's a line out to Murray, 2 down. So they'll keep McGregor in, let him face Baylor. Don Baylor. That's a 6-7 against the righty. Is a ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Ripken. He's a 2E20. 2 and a 3. That's going to be iffy. 2 and a 3. He'll get to it, though. E20, again, at shortstop, has to avoid 4, 15, 16, and 17. Which he does. So Ripken makes the play. McGregor a 1, 2, 3, 8th. We go to the 9th, and we are tied at 3 apiece. 3 apiece. As we start the 9th, Roger Clemens will be facing scheduled hitters Ray Knight, Terry Kennedy, and Larry Sheets, although there could be some pinch hitting potentially out there. So let's see what the Orioles have left on the bench if they want to try to pinch hit for Ray Knight. Knight is 0 for 3. They do have Wiggins, and they can put Wiggins at second and move Gonzalez to third if they wish. Ken Gerhardt is an available pinch hitter. Knight, though, has a better average than both of them. So, yes, it's nice to have the windows open, and I live down the street from a fire station. So, yes, you will hear sirens once in a while. Thank goodness it's not the police coming for me. It's just somebody has an emergency. So, there you go. All right, they're going to go ahead and stick with Ray Knight on second consideration. 3-12 for Knight, and he fouls out to Gedman for out number 1. 1 away. And that will bring up Terry Kennedy. Kennedy is 1 for 3 on the game. And that's a 4-6. 1 to 16 is going to be a single. 17 or higher, he lines out. And that is a single for Terry Kennedy. Kennedy is aboard with 1 out. And here comes Larry Sheets. Rene Gonzalez on deck. Larry Sheets doubled his last time up. 6-8, and that's a strikeout for Clemens. That is his 10th strikeout of the game. And now it is Rene Gonzalez, his first at bat since coming in for defensive purposes. Rene Gonzalez hitting .255 on the replay in 47 at bats. No homers, 4 driven in. In 60 at bats, he hit .267 with 1 home run. So he does have normal power if he can get into one. Kennedy at first, 2 down for Clemens. And that's a 2-8, and that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 11 for Roger Clemens. He's going to go 9. He really has fatigue into the 10th, but I don't think we'll push that. We'll go ahead and cap him at 9 innings. And turned over to the Red Sox bullpen after this. But we'll get the numbers on Clemens. He can still win it if the Red Sox walk it off in the bottom of the 9th. Clemens, 9 innings pitched, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, 3 walks, and 11 strikeouts. So a solid performance by Clemens. And now he has a chance to get the win if the Red Sox can walk it off. McGregor starting the inning against Dwight Evans. Bill Buckner is on deck, but they're going to pinch hit for Buckner with Jim Rice. They will pinch hit for Buckner with Jim Rice. So it's going to be Rice. It's going to be Evans, Rice, and maybe even a pinch hitter for Spike Owen. But right now, we'll start with Evans, see what happens, and then we'll get to Rice after this. But I don't know if Evans hits a home run; it's all moot point. So here's Dewey Evans. That's a 4-6, and that's a base on balls for Evans. And Jim Rice has been announced as a pinch hitter. And with that announcement, the Orioles will make their move and bring in Doug Corbett. So Corbett will come in for McGregor to try to counter the Jim Rice move. So let's get the McGregor pitched 1+, give a walk, no strikeouts, no hits, but he is responsible for Evans at first base. Doug Corbett on the real season was 0-2 with a 7.83 ERA and 1 save. Doug Corbett will be facing Jim Rice. So need to do 2 things. Need to bring in both of these guys on the computer. So we see what happens here. Step 1 is to pinch hit for Buckner with Rice. Wait a minute. Now the Strat computer is telling me Rice is not on the roster. Maybe he's injured because he's not on the roster. So I'm going to have to switch off and do Ellis Burks instead. So we'll do Ellis Burks. So where's my correction tape? Strat computer is telling me Rice is not on the roster now. So maybe he's actually on the disabled list. I didn't look it up, but it could be. So we'll go with Burks instead. And then what they'll do, if it goes to the 10th inning, they'll put Burks in center field. So Burks will be here, batting in that position in center field. Evans will move from right field to first base, and Benziger will move from center field to right field. That's if it goes to the 10th. Burks and the Red Sox hoping it doesn't come to that. So Burks hitting for Buckner. And then now the Orioles counter with Doug Corbett out of the pen. on the replay, Corbett is 0-0. He's pitched 7 innings without giving up a run, so he's definitely exceeded what his card shows. 7 innings pitched, only 2 hits allowed, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. We'll see what happens here with Ellis Burks. Burks hitting .298 on the replay. 9 homers, 23 driven in. He had .272 real world. That's a 1-5, and that's a single and a 1. Anything else, he lines it to short. And that is and how you like that? So the devil die comes up as a 1. So that's going to be a base hit for Ellis Burks. Wow. First and second, nobody out. So Rice, like I said, was unavailable. So Spike Owen is up, and it's a natural bunt situation. So no surprises here. Corners are in. They know the bunt's coming, but there's nothing they can do about it. Bunt is a 5, and that means the bunt will go to the first baseman, Murray. He's an A bunter, becomes a B bunter, so basically 9 or less, he's okay. That's a 6, so that's defense. Now the defense has the option to try to throw for the lead runner. And boy, he might want to consider it. He's a 12. Murray's defense is only a 2, so it's a good chance here. So let's look at what the defense says here. I mean, for people that maybe aren't that familiar with it on this kind of play, on the bunt chart, on the defense chart, when you go for the bunt and you roll a B, you roll a 6, no matter what the grade is, you roll a 6, you go to defense, and defense is down here. It says batter drops down a bunt. The defense has the option of throwing the batter out at first or trying to throw out the lead runner. Compute the lead runner's safe range as, let's see here, as running speed. No, that's safety squeeze. I don't want that. Why is it saying squeeze? I don't want to do squeeze. Running speed. All right, this is really weird. Why is it? Oh, I'm looking down here at the, never mind. I'm looking here at the squeeze, but I need to be in this one right here. That's what was throwing me off. It's in the wrong column right here. Batter drops down a bunt. The defense has the option of throwing the batter out at first. Compute the lead runner's safe range as running speed -4 plus fielder's range. So running speed is a 12 for Evans. He's the lead runner. -4, it makes that an 8. And then adding on the defense is a 10. The 2 to the 8 adds it to a 10. And it says lead runner's rating is 1 to 14, and the ball is bunted to the first baseman, whose fielding rating is a 2. Lead runner is a 12. So we take the 14 and make it a 12. So safe range in this case is going to be a total of 10 because he's a 12, minus the 4 is an 8, plus the 2 defense is a 10. So 1 to 10, he'd be safe. If we get 11 to 20, that means they get the lead runner at third. I think it's worth the gamble for the Orioles for Murray to try to throw it to third. But if you get a 1 to 10, everybody's safe. 11 to 20, they get the lead dog. And everybody's safe, but it's a chance they took. It's a fielder's choice. And everybody's safe. Bases are loaded, nobody out for Rich Gedman. But I think they just had to do that. People could disagree and think I should have gotten the Shore out. Made it second and third with 1 out, playing the infield in, but I really felt like they had to get the lead dog. Just didn't work out for him. Didn't get a good roll, unfortunately for the Red Sox. So now the bases are loaded. Infield is in. Outfield is in. I'm in. You're in. Everybody's in. Tabby's in. I mean, the whole world is in this case. And it's Rich Gedman. That is a 111, and that's a split chance. 1 to 7, it's a walk-off single. Anything else, he lines it to second base, and the game continues. So 1 to 7, the game's over. That's a 20, so he lines it to Gonzalez. Everybody holds. 1 out. Top of the order for Marty Barrett. Do you trust the double play or do you play in? Man, he's got some ground ball A's on his card. He's also got some ground ball B's. If you play back and you get a ground ball B, you're going to feel silly. If you play in, you get a ground ball plus or a ground ball with the pound sign on an X chart, then you blow it. I think you have to play the infield in here. I don't think you can assume a double play or take a chance on a double play, particularly with the Orioles defense. If you got somebody like Ray Knight who's a 4 out there, it's going to be hard to get a double play out of that. Gonzalez is a 3. So I think they're going to play the infield in here against Marty Barrett and take their chances. Infield is in. That is a 3-6, and that's a 1-10 single to walk it off. 11-20, he lines it to Ripken, and the game continues. But a 1-10, it's a walk-off. And it is. It's gone. It's out of here, out of the infield, past the drawn-in infield, base hit. Ball game is over. Red Sox win it in the bottom of the 9th, 4-3. Make a winner out of Roger Clemens. He improves to 8-5. McGregor will take the loss. Corbett's going to go 2/3 of an inning, give up 2 hits, and that's it. So we go to our final line score. We'll go to the computer for that and set you up for tomorrow's game. Marty Barrett, a walk-off single. Go to our box score. And get you set up for tomorrow. So for the Red Sox, 4 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error. For the Orioles, 3 runs, 6 hits, and no errors. Clemens, the winner, improves to 8-5. McGregor, the loss, drops to 2-8 out of the bullpen. So now the Red Sox are 33-44. Orioles are 30-48. Let's go to tomorrow's game. We look at what tomorrow brings. I don't have the score sheet with me upstairs, I don't think. No, I don't. But I can look at the schedule on Strat Computer and tell you who's next. And who's next is going to be, who was it that I had up here? Now I can't remember off the top of my head who I had. It might be Detroit and Milwaukee. I'm trying to determine if that's the game I chose or whether it might be California and Cleveland as well, because we didn't do Cleveland last week, I don't think. So we'll figure it out one way or the other. But in the meantime, I will be working on a video later today, probably tonight, maybe this afternoon. I'm not sure what my schedule dictates. And I'll do a recap of this 87 replay up through the June 30th date. Of course, we're not going to include this. Well, we will include this, but it's not going to matter. Just first game of July. So I will be doing that, showing if I can make sure I get my OBS working and get it to work properly with my sound and everything. I'll try to do it on the screen, showing the Strat Computer and the stats and the league leaders and all that good stuff in the replay to this point. And then don't forget later today, either this afternoon or this evening, depending on how my schedule plays out, we will have the Game 4 of the 2025 Colorado Rockies Horror Baseball Show as the Colorado Rockies move on from Tampa Bay and move to Philadelphia to take on the Phillies. So that's going to do it from here. Hope everybody has a great Monday, whatever you have planned for the rest of your day. And again, if you enjoy Strat, if you're getting back into the hobby, welcome. We would like you to join the hobby with us and enjoy particularly Strat-O-Matic. And Dan, if you're still here, I don't know if you're still here or not, I will check out the DD or the D Denman 76 channel. I want to check him out and see how he's, what he's playing and how, how he's, what season he's got going on and whatnot. So I definitely want to check his channel out, give him a sub. And also, I'm still debating about whether to get that. I think I'm going to go ahead and get the 52 set. I think it's just calling my name. With the 10% off and the free shipping, I think I can get it for like $56 or something. So it's, it's low level, well, nothing for me is low level as far as spending goes, but for a Strat order, that's pretty cheap for a Strat order. Most times Strat order, if you get, it's like going to Price Club or Costco or one of those places. You don't go in there and get out of there for under $100. And that's the same with the Strat website. It's hard to get out of there under $100. So if I can get out of there for about in the high 50s, low 60s, I figure I've accomplished something. So, and that'll give me something new to put in the mail. And if I don't play it right away, no big deal. I can bring it out, whenever, and just pull it out and just, do whatever with it. I don't know. But that's going to do it from here. Hope you all have a great day. Support anybody out there that has a YouTube channel in the hobby, whether it's computer or cards and dice or Strat or APA or Fall Classic or Payoff Pitch or whatever the case may be, Inside Pitch. Support the guys out there that put the videos out there, because they're sharing their passion, and we like to share the passion with them. So that's going to do it from here. Until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and we'll see you down the road.